Howdy, y'all. This is Jim Dandy of Black Oak, Arkansas. And on behalf of me and the brothers, we're going to tell you we're all fixing to go and try to vote on all the things we can find it worth voting on. We all, us, the young, we've got new power now. We've got the ability to go and make our thoughts known.
From the power I possess, I can see through the maze. I can see man's progress, 'cause Earth's dying day.
Help them that don't know that they can go vote. Tell them all. We got to go vote and make sure it's known. There's a big change coming, change of consciousness. Each one of us are going to go vote. Gonna get it done. Many problems gonna come about, but we gotta all face them together. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it done.
Brought to you by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Howdy, y'all. This is Jim Dandy of Black Oak, Arkansas. It's getting to be a problem sometimes. I was thinking about it the other day, had people crashing through my door trying to take my freedom away out of my hand and my mouth. But you know, I come to thinking I can go pretty soon to the polls and I can be voting for something and help these changes come about so this pressure ain't on my head all the time. Y'all try to think about it. Maybe we can all go vote and bring some of these changes about that we can be happy with.
Brought to you by NAPRA.
I lost that love before.
This is Steve Katz from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's been proven in the past couple of years that violence doesn't work. It only causes grief and pain, and it doesn't really change things. So what other options do we have? Well, the best one is to get out and vote for the changes that you want.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hi, brothers and sisters, this is Billy Preston. And if you're between the age of 18 and 21, now's the time to register and vote. It doesn't take very long, and it's very important to all of us. So why don't you get on your job and take care of business? Get out and vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hi, this is Mark Bowman
and Howard Kalin,
the Phlorescent Leech and Eddie, urging everyone 18 and over to use their power to vote.
There are 25 million new youth voters in the 72 elections, and this is it, you guys. Let's get out there and make the world a lot better place to live in.
Flo and Eddie brought to you by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
This is Mark Bowman, the Phlorescent Leech.
And this is Howard Kalin Eddie, urging you this time around to use the power, get out there and vote!
Don't let him down.
Give him his chance. Vote.
Brought to you by NAPRA.
Hello, this is Spencer Davis. We're both part of a generation that will inherit the Earth, and as we all know, the Earth is in trouble. We all have a responsibility to do something for our beliefs. If you're 18 or over, you have the right to vote. This is perhaps the only meaningful tool at our disposal right now. I don't have to tell you who to vote for, or what needs to be done. Don't waste your vote or your planet. Use your right to vote for a positive, meaningful purpose. Please vote, irregardless of what the polls say.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
This is Reverend Jesse Jackson. People want to express themselves through voice. Vote is voice in this nation. Those of us who are 18 years of age to 30, who are subject to being killed abroad, have some obligation to make decisions about whether we're going to be killed abroad or whether we're going to be healed at home. You're either an unregistered voter in the system having decisions made on you, or you are a voter in it helping to determine who will make decisions that involve your lives. And to that extent, I challenge you, not a particular party or a particular personality, but I challenge you to accept your franchise and to in fact apply it and use it to the benefit of all of us.
This is Robert Lamb of Chicago. The system knows the power of the 18-year-old vote. There are potentially 25 million new young voters in the United States. Add to this the 47 million Americans who were not inspired to vote in the 1968 election, and we have a whole new ballgame and a whole new politics. You can elect the next president of the United States. You can create a responsive base of power in your community, and you can establish an alternative that would be a major force in this country. Only if you vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
The Credibility Gap presents Tony Lamone singing to young voters everywhere.
Vote till it hurts. Nobody likes a loser. When democracy works, then you can tell me what's new, sir. Study the issues and find solutions, you Peter Neros and Eddie Duchins. Come ye Catholics and Rosicrucians and make your choice, use your voice, vote till it hurts. Choose with your mind and body, trousers and skirts, government needn't be shoddy. Reach for the stars instead of the mustard, for that's the American way, like I say. Oh, vote till it hurts today.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hello, this is Carla Thomas. We're both part of a generation that will inherit the earth. And as we all know, the earth is in trouble. We all have a responsibility to do something for our beliefs. If you are over 18 years of age, you have the right to vote. This is perhaps the only meaningful tool at our disposal right now. Use your right to vote for a positive, meaningful purpose. Please vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Say, kids, what time is that?
Hi, kids. Howdy Doody here with a few words about myself. You know, one of the problems of being a puppet was that someone always did the talking for me.
Mr. Doody. And boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go!
They put words in my mouth and controlled everything I did. You know, I ended up doing what everybody else wanted me to do. And looking back on it, well, it really wasn't much of a life. That's why I think it's so important to vote. Really, don't let yourself be manipulated the way I was. Vote in November.
Boys and girls, you will take Howdy Doody's advice, won't you?
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hi, this is Tommy Smothers for the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers, telling you to vote. In a democracy, you shall vote. If you don't, we shall come and we shall wring your neck. I'm just kidding. But there are ways of pain to make you vote. And I think we've all had enough pain now, so we better start voting to alleviate some of it, to get out there and vote and make the changes that we need. Thank you.
This is Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys. Everywhere we've been going lately, we've been talking a little bit about power. Power each of us 18 or older now has to try and get things on the right track in this country. Please put the power of the vote in your hip pocket.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
This is Mike Love of the Beach Boys. If you ever known someone who felt he was getting ripped off at the hands of the Libran Lady of Justice, think about this. The only way most states choose jurors for court trials is from the lists of registered voters. So put some power in your hip pocket. Please vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hi, this is Dewey of America. If you're 18 and you're not too happy about the way things are, this year for the first time you can do something about it. Just use your vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hey, Chong!
Hey, what do you want, Cheech?
Hey, man, like, if you took all the new people who are eligible to vote this year, because you have to be 18 to vote, man, and you put them, like, in boxcars, like on a train, maybe, like, 40 people to boxcars and, guys in boxcars, and all the people who have to wait in the automobiles for the train to go by, they run out of gas.
Far out, man.
Brought to you by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Give me a V. V. Give me an O. O. Give me a T. T. Give me an E. E. What's that spell? Vote. What's that spell? Vote. What's that spell? Vote.
Hi, this is Country Joe McDonald. People at a concert can generate a beautiful kind of power together. On Election Day, we're going to have a chance to turn on to another kind of power. The power of millions of people choosing what kind of a country they want this to be. So vote for the people you believe in. You know what I mean?
Country Joe McDonald was brought to you by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hi, this is Albet King with my girlfriend, Lucy. That's my guitar, I'd like to talk to all of the young people that have reached the age of 18. Lots of young people speaking together can do lots of things. But you have to hang in there and be tough. You have to say it. When you become 18, vote. And that do a lot of things.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
This is Pat Vegas of Redbone. If you're 18 and over, it's time that you got out there and had your say. It's time to vote. Get out there and use it. It's a power. That's the collective energies that are needed right now. When your opportunity comes, don't shy away from it. It's a responsibility you have to meet.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hello, this is Johnny Rivers. We're all part of a generation that will inherit the earth, and as we all know, the earth is in trouble. We all have a responsibility to do something for our beliefs. If you're 18 or over, you have the right to vote. This is perhaps the only meaningful tool at our disposal right now. I don't have to tell you who to vote for or what needs to be done, but don't waste your vote or your planet. Use your right to vote for a positive, meaningful purpose. Please vote, irregardless of what the polls say.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Wake up, America. It's been a long, long time.
Brought to you as a public service by NAPRA, Murry Roman.
Nobody can tell anybody anything. I mean, the most you can do for any other human being in this life, if you've got it together, is to lay a thought on them that works for you. And if the thought works for you and you like somebody, you give it to them and they either choose to operate from it or they don't. We need to vote. We need to vote because we need to change this place. And we can't change this place without voting. It's a drag only voting against things. But maybe next time we can vote for some things that we believe in. But it's important that we vote. If you don't think so, look at television.
Murry Roman brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
I believe that the universe is a cosmos, not a chaos. I believe that there is some order in the insanity which surrounds me. I believe that somehow or other, if you kiss and hug a lot, you're going to get kissed and hugged a lot. There seems to be a lot of people in this country who don't believe the way I do. I don't like that, man. The only way I know how to change it is go get a bomb or vote. I don't like bombs. Bombs preclude you from kissing and hugging a lot. So I have to vote. I don't want to vote alone. I think anybody who loves music, who loves poetry, who loves the trees, who loves the beach, who loves a bird, who loves a canyon, who loves a stream, has to vote.
I never had a love like this before, no.
Hi, I'm Paul Williams.
And I never had it so good.
If you're between 18 and 21 years old, you've never had it so good. Because now you can vote. This year, you can have it your way because you've got the power for a change.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
And now, Terry Talbot of Mason Prophet.
Throughout history, participating in worthy projects has been directly traceable to the people who were young. Now young people are running for office, and chances of outvoting adults in some states is very, very possible. Rising to a new identity of importance and power, youth by the millions can become the political dark horses for 1972. Vote.
Everybody put your name down. Everybody make a mark. Stand in line, show your mind, pull the lever, do your part.
Brought to you by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Everybody make a mark.
Hey, you.
Me?
You with the long hair. You freak, you weirdo, you camel pinky.
Yes, sir?
Where you going?
Going down, sir, I'm going to destroy the establishment. I'm going to tear down the bricks of stupidity and corruption and put up in its place an edifice of truth.
Ah, you weirdos, you all think alike. How you propose to do that?
I'm going to vote.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now get in the car, I'll give you a ride.
Thank you.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Oh, look at Marcy. Isn't she beautiful, darling?
Terrific, baby.
Sweetheart.
Who you going out with this afternoon?
I'm going out with Eddie. Oh,
Eddie?
he's such a nice
Handsome guy,
So
big
pleased.
shoulders. He's the one that scored all those touchdowns. in
Valedictorian, too,
Oh,
isn't he?
yeah.
Hi, Marcy. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Hey, Ed.
How are you?
Oh, fine. What are you crazy kids going to get into today?
Well,
huh?
I thought I'd take Marcy up to the country for the weekend, but before we leave, we're going to go down to vote.
To vote? Vote! Vote! You see my daughter again, and I'll kill you.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
I'm Sheila. I'm Wanda. I'm Teresa. And we're the Emotions. If you think it, you may as well do. Why don't you do it? May as well, may as well, may as well do it. Please vote. If you think it, you may as well do it. Why don't you do it? May as well, may as well, may as well do it. Please vote. vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Hey, listen, this is the Butter Queen. If you finally got to the ripe old age of 18, it's time to go vote. This is your country. Votes are supposed to run it. Well, get up off your chairs and go vote. If you don't like what's happening, don't sit around and gripe. Get up there and put your vote in to change it. It's up to you. It's your country. It only counts if you vote.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Fellow Americans.
He's been sick.
Hello, this is Frank Zappa. I would like to recommend that you actually go out and register and you actually go out and vote, but try and do it intelligently and don't be too conscious of the dumb slogans that float around during elections. And also try and be rational and do a little bit of research into who and what you're voting for. Just be smart when you go out there and vote. Don't just put an X on something and stick it in a box.
Would you go all the way for the USA?
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
Lift up your dress if the answer is no.
This is Daniel Ellsberg. The election this fall offers the clearest issue in the last generation of a choice between war and peace. If the youth of this nation fail to exercise their new powers as sovereign citizens of this republic to vote on this issue, and if this war continues, each person who so failed to vote will share significant responsibility for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. It is your duty to use the power that this Constitution and this country gives you to vote on these issues.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
My fellow Americans. Hi, kids. This is Todd Rundgren, candidate for president on the rock and roll ticket. Of course, I won't be old enough to take office until 1984. But for those of you who can't wait to do something for the campaign, why don't you go out and vote? There'll be all kinds of little elections you can vote in until the big one comes up in '84, like that presidential one in the fall. If you're not old enough to register, that's okay. I'm not old enough to be president.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.
I'm Bernie Krause. My partner Paul Beaver and I make music with Moog synthesizers. It's a music machine. Now you've got a chance, if you're 18 years old, to use another kind of machine, and that's going to make some kind of music too, and it's called a voting machine.
Brought to you as a public service by the National Association of Progressive Radio Announcers.